Hello everyone. We have some important updates regarding the City of Livonia's new water and sewer rates. If you're wondering how these changes may affect your bill, you're in the right place. In this video, I will break down the new rate structure, explaining how billing is calculated using equivalent residential units, or ERUs. And we'll walk you through real examples to make it easy to understand. Let's get started. Why are the rates changing? The last rate adjustments were made in 2018, and since then, costs have changed significantly. To comply with statewide regulations and encourage water conservation, our city has approved a new tiered rate structure. This means that the water and sewer charges will now vary based on usage, so that those who conserve water will pay lower rates. Now, let's talk about how these changes affect you. So what is an ERU? An ERU is also known as an equivalent residential unit, and it is a standardized measure we use to calculate water usage across different customer categories. To find the ERU for the City of Lavonia, all of the water usage for 2 years was assessed. After taking the total and dividing it by the number of active accounts, we can find the average usage. For the City of Lavonia, 1 ERU is equal to 3,625 gallons, which represents the average monthly water usage per residential customer. The Georgia Rural Water Association, who helped with creating the new rate structure, finds that our ERU aligns with the Georgia average of 3,700 gallons. Your bill will be based on how many ERUs your household or business uses each month. Now what? Now that we know what the ERU is, a value must be assigned to it. Well, how do we find that? To assign a value to the ERU, we must first find how many ERUs are within our customer base. Without boring you with all of the math, the total ERUs in the city is 10,286. Now, we can take the expected budgeted expenses for the year and divide this by the total number of ERUs. This tells us how much each ERU is worth annually to meet budgetary needs. Dividing this by 12 will give us the monthly ERU value. The monthly ERU value for water is $20.74. Now, the same process was done for sewer, resulting in an ERU value of $30.99. Now that we have the total value of an ERU, we can divide the value by 3,625 gallons, Livonia's ERU, to find that the value is $0.00572 per gallon, or to simplify, $5.72 per 1,000 gallons. This is how the new rate was created. The same process was done for sewer, resulting in a rate of $8.80 per 1,000 gallons. The new rate structure includes 5 customer categories, each with a minimum water and sewer charge that includes a $2 administration fee. Here's how it breaks down. Essentially, this minimum plus the $2 administration fee will be what is charged to you regardless of your usage. Another charge is added as well. It is called a debt service charge. Essentially, as the city acquires loans to perform upgrades or repairs to our system, we must repay that debt. The debt service fees are calculated by taking the monthly requirement for the loan and dividing it by the number of accounts using that service. Doing this gives us a debt service charge for water at $2.03 and sewer at $2.04. These are only added to accounts using the services. Don't worry. If you're not using the city sewer, you will not be charged the sewer debt service, and so on. Now let's go over how the new tiered rates will apply to your bill. Let's take a look at the new tiered rate structure. As you can see, the more water that you use, the higher the rate per 1,000 gallons will be. This encourages conservation while ensuring fair billing for all customers. Let's look at some real-life examples. A couple of notes before we begin. The first note is that these examples do not have the Water Leak Protection Program fee included. If you have the Water Leak Protection Program simply add $1.49 to your total. Another note, when calculating, remember that the rates are per 1,000 gallons. To simplify in this explanation, we went ahead and divided the usage by 1,000. Let's begin by looking at a residential inside the city limits using the typical usage, or the ERU. In this case, the usage is 3,625 gallons. The way that this breaks down is we simply multiply the usage, and again, per the note, we've already divided this by 1,000, 3.625 times the rate, 5.72, which equals $20.74. This, added with the $5 minimum, the $2 admin fee, and the $2.03 debt service, gets us a water total of $29.77. Now we take that same usage and multiply it by the sewer rate, in this case, $8.80. So 3.625 times $8.80 equals $31.90. This, plus the $5 minimum, the $2 admin fee, and the $2.04 sewer debt service, gives us a total of $40.94. Adding the water total of $29.77 plus the sewer total of $40.94 gives us an overall total of $70.71. Let's look at an example where lower usage actually lowers the customer's bill. In this case, we're going to be looking at a residential outside of the city limits who only uses 1,000 gallons of water. Now, as per the previous notes, we're taking the usage and dividing it by 1,000 for easier multiplication. To begin, we take the 1,000 gallons and divide it by 1,000, which is 1. So 1 times $5.72 equals $5.72. That, added with a $7.50 minimum, the $2 administration fee, and the $2.03 debt service charge, totals a bill of $17.25. Previously, the minimum bill sat somewhere around $19, and if they had WLPP, the Water Leak Protection Program, typically sat at $20.49. Now let's look at an example of where the water usage is higher than the first tier, therefore resulting in a higher rate. Let's say in this example, we're looking at a small business within the city limits, using 7,250 gallons. The first 4,000 gallons is within the first tier, being charged at $5.72 per 1,000 gallons. The remaining 3,250 gallons are being charged at the second tier rate of $6.29 per 1,000 gallons. To begin calculating the water charge, we take the first 4,000 gallons and multiply them by the $5.72 per 1,000 gallon rate. We then take the remaining usage of 3,250 gallons and multiply it by the second tier rate of $6.29 per 1,000 gallons. We add the minimum of $17.50, the admin charge of $2, and the debt service charge of $2.03 to get a total of $65.30. To calculate the sewer charge, we take the 4,000 gallons usage and we multiply it by the first tier rate of $8.80 per 1,000 gallons. We then take the remaining usage of 3,250 gallons and multiply it by the second tier rate, which is $9.68 per 1,000 gallons. We add the $17.50 minimum, the $2 administration fee, and the $2.04 debt service charge to have a total sewer cost of $88.20. We take that $88.20 and add it to the $65.30 water charge to have a total bill of $153.50. Due to industries using a lot of water, we structure their tiers with the same rates as the other categories. but change their tier ranges. This is what that structure looks like. Let's look at an example of an industrial facility using 100,000 gallons. The first 50,000 gallons will be charged at the first tier rate of $5.72 per thousand gallons. The remaining 50,000 gallons will be charged at the second tier rate of $6.29 per thousand gallons. To calculate the water charge, we take the first 50,000 gallons and multiply it by the $5.72 per thousand gallons first tier rate. We then take the remaining 50,000 gallons and multiply it by the second tier rate of $6.29 per 1,000 gallons. We add the $17.50 minimum, the $2 administration fee, and the $2.03 debt service charge to get a total of $662.03 for water. For the total sewer charge, we take 50,000 gallons and multiply it by the first tier sewer rate of $8.80 per thousand gallons. We then take the remaining 50,000 gallons and multiply it by the second tier rate of $9.68 per thousand gallons. We then add the $17.50 minimum, the $2 administration fee, and the $2.04 sewer debt service charge to get a total $945.54. We take the water charge of $662.03 and we add it to the sewer charge of $945.54 to have a total of $1,607.57. So why does this matter? This new rate structure ensures that customers who use less water pay lower rates, while those with higher usage contribute fairly to the system. It also helps fund infrastructure improvements to keep our water resources sustainable for the future. By understanding these rates, you can better manage your usage and cost.